Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to have a lesson about pronunciation. But before we have this lesson, I want to tell you a couple of stories about my personal experiences with pronunciation. When I was a little boy in second grade, my teacher called my parents in for a meeting, for a conference, to ask why I spoke with an accent. And my mother said, well, I really don't know. We come from Germany. We learn to talk English like this, and this is how I teach my son. Yes, he's an only child. This is how he learns English. Now, today in New York, where I grew up, everybody speaks with an accent. Almost everybody. Very, very few people do not speak with an accent. So the lesson here is don't let your accent trouble you. So long as you make yourself understood, everything is fine, and if you want to make it better, you'll get better. Now, the other story that I want to tell you is about my personal experience recording these videos, these lessons. I always thought that I, as a native English speaker, had perfect pronunciation. But when I watch and listen to these videos, I discover that my pronunciation is very far from perfect. In fact, I have an accent, a New York accent. And what I have learned is that I have to slow down and enunciate more carefully to make my pronunciation better. So that has been a valuable lesson. So now we are going to go to something called heteronyms, where something is written the same way, but pronounced two different ways or more than two different ways, and has two different meanings. The key to this is that when we are speaking or reading, the context of what we are saying gives us the indication of how these words should be pronounced and what they mean. Let's take a look. B-O-W, bow. He takes a bow, bends forward. Or bow, as in bow and arrow. Also, you tie a bow knot on top of a gift. Tear, T-E-A-R, pronounced tear, to rip up. Or tear, crying, tear. Same spelling, different pronunciation, different meaning. Row, a line of objects in a row. Row, to paddle a boat. Same pronunciation, different meaning. Matter of context. Can also be pronounced row, R-O-W, same spelling, different pronunciation. Row meaning a fight. They had a row, they had a fight. Bass, B-A-S-S, a type of fish. Also, bass wood, a type of tree. It would be a matter of context to determine what you're talking about. Also pronounced bass, very deep in tone. He had a bass voice, a bass fiddle is playing, a bass drum is being drummed, low in sound. There's also bass, B-A-S-E, spelled differently and meaning something else again. Next, close, C-L-O-S-E, to shut, or close, meaning nearby. Different pronunciation, same spelling, different meaning. Object, a thing. This is an object, or object, meaning to express disagreement. I object to that statement. Object, object. Wound, W-O-U-N-D, an injury, or wound, the past tense of to wind. He wound up a spool of thread. Desert, the Gobi Desert, the Sahara Desert, a very dry or arid land, lots of sand, no water. Or desert, desert to abandon. They deserted their location, their outpost, often used in a military sense. There's also the word desert with two S's that sounds like to abandon, but dessert with two S's is what you eat after you eat the main course of a meal. Dessert. Invalid, meaning not valid, not legitimate, or invalid. Emphasis is different, pronunciation is different. An invalid is a person with a wound or injury. Minute, meaning tiny, or minute, meaning a unit of time. Present, a gift, or present, to introduce. Could also be used, I am present, I am here. Contest, they are in a contest, they are in a competition. Or contest, to argue a point. I contested the issue. Content. Content would be subject matter, but content meaning satisfied. Slightly different pronunciation, different emphasis on the syllables, different meaning. Produce, to create, or produce, farm products. Wind, air motion, he's out in the wind, or wind, to twist. So these are all called heteronyms, and there are many different types of nyms. There are heteronyms, homonyms, antonyms, synonyms, and it's interesting, heteronyms, homonyms. I'm not going to get into the difference between them right now, but that's for another lesson. And I'm just going to add a couple of really good, entertaining videos that anybody who's interested in how difficult it is to learn how to speak English would enjoy watching. Thank you very much.